All right, another walk, another morning, another topic. This one sort of links into what I've done before, which is the cost of DLC. And how I think it's getting out of control. It's almost like nowadays you're not paying the £60, £70 even, and even $70, $80 for a game. You're paying that as an entry level, and that entry level, once you've paid it, it's that you find that the rest of the game is actually just locked off behind a paywall. The Borderlands 4 is absolutely egregious with this. It's horrific. When you've got DLC just for the, well, if you bought all of the DLC, it would cost you 80 quid off a £70 game. You know, it's out of order. And you know that stuff is stuff they've just stripped out of the game. They're not making it. They're not making new stuff. Right. Here we are again, doing another video, doing it a day earlier than normal because I've got stuff to sort out tomorrow. Anyway, let's get into it. So I threatened this with the previous video, and I mentioned it with regards to Borderlands 4 DLC, but DLC in games is just getting out of control. I was looking at Space Marine 2 and seeing what DLC there was for that, because I'm enjoying the game. I think it's a really good game, well programmed, good game. I'm looking at the DLC and I'm, God almighty, there's loads. So you buy a season pass for this thing, and I was looking at the reviews on Steam, could have it on PC, and it was getting review bombed. I'm thinking, why is that? Why is it getting review bombed? It's getting review bombed to hell on Steam. And it's because of the DLC. Apparently Saber Interactive, who published, either developed the game or published it, I'm not sure which, had said that it was like one season pass, and now they've introduced more season passes and locked off content. Now that content is just cosmetic from what I can make out. But that's not the point. They lied to the consumer. They lied to the developers. So they didn't lie to the developers. They lied to the consumer, saying they were going to get something and then they changed their mind. And this season pass used to be just for one thing. You buy your season pass and that covered you for the future content. The idea being that you save money on future content. You're not spending spending it piecemeal. So, while all this is going on, and the money you're forking out for the season pass, it's now not worth it. They're saying, oh, you got to fork out more money. Borderlands 4, that releases with 2 season passes. And don't say that it isn't 2 season passes, because that's what it calls it on the PlayStation Store. There's one that's 35 quid and one that's 45 quid. Yeah, it's shit crow, I agree. That's £70 out of the gate, day one. I've just paid that for the game. Now in the past, DLC was quite good. You used to pay it'd be 10, 15, 20 quid for map packs and stuff like that. Now, that's not even going to get you cosmetics, because that's what this boils down to. It's just cosmetics, and then you'll get some which have like missions locked behind it. Now, cosmetics I'm not bothered about, to be honest with you. I couldn't care less about cosmetics in video games. I think it's stuff they used to unlock in the game in the past for achieving certain things. Now you have to pay, because of course you do, because greedy bastard corporations don't ever earn enough money. But in the same breath, they're crying about games are not selling anywhere near like they used to. Yeah, because people don't have the money. It's not rocket science. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. How some of these people get into these 6-figure salary jobs when they're absolute gawping idiots never ceases to amaze me. We live in a society of failing upwards. Somebody screws something up. Oh, give them a job. This other corporation, pay them $10 million a year for doing what? For failing? For ballsing everything up? For not giving the consumers what they want? I mean, that's the thing. You're charging premium price, and a lot of this stuff isn't what people want. They don't care about it. They're not bothered. And yeah, they say the Space Marine 2 lie to the gamers. And what is it? Okay, if it's cosmetics, it's not too bad, but they're locking off parts of the game now. You buy a new game on launch day, you just spent, it's a lot of money, let's face it. For the entertainment, it's a lot of money. No one would pay $70 or £70 to go and watch a film, You might pay it to watch a band, if you've got an absolute humongous amount of money, you might pay that. But nobody is paying that to watch a film, and video games like to compare themselves to the movie industry, so it's a fair comparison. That's what these companies are doing. They're saying they're saying it. They're using Hollywood as a barometer, not me. These companies are doing it, so you can't just cherry pick what you're being compared to. You know, you've got to accept what it is and move on with it. And they're not doing that. They're talking absolute shite. It's like, imagine you watching a film at the cinema and the film stops, and it's like, if you want to see the rest of this storyline, you have to pay an extra $10, $20 or £10, £15 just to see the rest of a storyline. You'd be up in arms. You'd be going mad. But that's what happens. People do this. Can we go over there? See what's through that gate? Maybe nothing, but we'll have a look. It looks like a bit of a lane, a country lane. Try and change it up a little bit, eh? Let's see. Oh, I know where. That's not going anywhere exciting, I don't think. It just cuts out onto a road. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And they're not the only two. It's happening in so many AAA releases. You're paying premium for the game, and it's not the whole experience. And you know they've cut the content out to put it into the DLC because it's available day one. Let's go back over this way. And as I say, Borderlands 4 is, at the moment, is the most egregious one. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I really do. And it didn't start with the horse armour in Oblivion. A lot of people say that was the jumping off point. Nah, DLC's been around for years. It was, I remember like years ago playing Battlefield on the PC, and then you would buy mission packs. Microsoft Combat Flight Simulator I had back in the day. There was loads of discs that come out for that. It was great, but the content you'd pay about 15-20 quid for, and there'd be loads of content, and it wasn't stuff that was stripped out of the game. It was stuff they were adding into it years after. There was value. There's no value now. What are you paying for? It's introducing classes into games, isn't it? Oh yeah. This game, if you don't spend 150 quid on this game, you don't get the whole experience. All right. Okay. Brilliant. Wonderful. And in the meantime, you're missing out. And people will say it's not compulsory. No, it isn't. It isn't compulsory. That's quite right. There are allotments back there. Wow, that's cool. Right next to a power generator. Wonderful. But yeah, like I say, it's It's just getting to the point where you have to start thinking to yourself, is this worth it? It was the thing I was putting out in the video. I think more indie games are providing better value, and in some cases the actual quality of the game isn't that bad. Like the graphics, the fidelity of the game is really good in a lot of cases. So, magpie. So you're not even losing out there. Two of them. And I think that going forward, that is the way to go. Then look at Stardew Valley. The guy has never charged for any of the expansions that game has had, of which it's had many. And he's made an absolute fortune out of that game. It wasn't even that expensive to buy. I think it was about £12-15 I paid for it years ago, and he's still doing stuff to it now. I mean, if you get hung up on the notion that, well, it's not a AAA game, or what do you define as AAA these days? Is it just graphics? Is it the fact that it's been put out there by a major developer? Is that what defines it? It's certainly not quality anymore, because most of these things are launched and they're crap, they're broken. So what defines it? You know, these people, they don't charge the earth for DLC either. If something they do charge, it's quite a reasonable amount. So I've done a bit more walking around here today because I didn't do the walk down the lane. I think there was some sport thing going on there. It was a bit noisy, and yeah, I don't know. There's like basketball courts and tennis courts and what have you. And there was something going on with that, so I walked down it. I started to film on there, and I walked down it, and it was just too noisy. So I've cut that out and started again in here, which is why I've done a little bit of extra walk in here. But yeah, they're rinsing the consumer, absolutely rinsing them, and now you're not even getting good value for it. I mean, when you're paying 20 odd quid for a season pass, your expectation is extra missions, extra levels, and it's not. It's just cosmetic crap that should be free. It should be just unlocked in the game. I mean, I always find it funny in first-person shooters because you can't even see your own character. What's the point? You can't see your own character in the game, and yet we'll charge you for cosmetics, innit? No. No thanks. They're charging me 25 quid for a handful of skins that I can't see. Genius. Well, it's genius, I suppose, in that sense, because people will buy it. God alone knows why. But they do. But it was funny because thinking of talking about this, and then I saw that with the Space Marine 2. And the thing is, that game's getting review bombed. The game itself is really good, but it's not the game that people are calling out. It's the business practices associated with it that's lousy. And although you could argue that's not, strictly speaking, fair, well, what else are they supposed to do? How else do you get your voice heard? Because that hurts them. Review bombing hurts because that puts people off buying the game. There's a little magpie here. Alright, fella. Quite a few magpies around. Anyway, don't want to go on and labour the point. I'll call it there, and thanks for watching.